Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go? Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today on Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today we're with Anthony Nelson's Director of Arts and Entertainment, Bloomington. Anthony, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up in your career process from start to finish where you're at today?
Yeah, so kind of a weird path to run an arts and entertainment division. So grew up not too far from Bloomington, Illinois, and Downs, Illinois, a small town. Have my degree in business management. I ran a family entertainment center for about 10 years, had sand volleyball, bowling, occasional comedians, bands there. And then I went and I was the business manager for our zoo here in Bloomington for about 6 years. And then moved down to Parks and Recreation as the business manager, where we oversaw the theater and the arena came under our.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go?
Have its own department. So we broke off into its own department, and then that's kind of how I got where I am.
Okay, all right, very good. Tell us a little bit about the arena and the theater, the types of events you have.
So we'll start with our theater, our smaller venue. It's got just over 1,100 seats. It's about 100 years old. It was a Scottish Rite temple, where you'll see a lot of theaters kind of in the Midwest that used to be that. The city took it over in 2006, spent just under $2 million on renovations, kind of getting the facility up to date. It was in good shape. It just needed some back end work. So it's our theater that hosts a wide variety of events. Jazz, theater, dance, stand-up comedy. We just had Sarah Evans there last week. So a little bit of everything. And then our arena, which is our bigger venue for a full show concert. It fits about 7,200 people. So it's kind of a medium-sized arena. We host Illinois State. Our college here in town has three club hockey teams and a women's hockey team, youth hockey, and then concerts throughout the year. Our Illinois State dance, cheerleading, and girls state wrestling and dual wrestling are kind of our big events on the calendar coming up.
Okay, all right. Now, in regards to theatrical performances, music performance, comedians, you guys are owned by the city, correct?
Correct.
And then do you rent the facility out? Are you actually in charge of booking? Are you in charge of ticketing, things like that?
Yeah, we do all of the above. We don't do a whole lot of, once in a while, an artist will come in and want to do a rental. Most of it, we're paying the straight artist fee, bringing them in. We sell our tickets. We're a Ticketmaster facility, so we do it that way. Occasionally we do get rentals at both facilities, but for the most part, we pay artist fees, bring the artist in.
Okay, very good. Give me career-wise, give me a comparison of what you're doing today versus what you were doing when you were managing the family center. Similar, just on a bigger scale?
I would say it's just on a bigger scale. That was kind of my pitch when I interviewed for the job. I kind of know what the families in Bloomington Normal are looking to do, how they want to spend their dollar, what has worked, what hasn't worked. Sometimes with the artist, there's just another zero. But whether there's 600 people coming to see it or 6,000, the way the business side works is still the same. You just have to have a few more people. So I think that's all, it's all relative. It all translates well to running an arena. I've got a food and beverage background, and the way concerts work these days, the artist is getting the majority of the money. So if you're going to make money, you've got to be good at food and beverage. You've got to make sure the people who come to the show, get an offering where they don't feel like they're priced out of being able to afford everything, but you have quality food and you're not just, handing them over things that they wouldn't return and eat again. So having quality food and beverage.
No, that makes sense. Where do you get your acts from? Do you listen? Do you just kind of have an intuition? Do you get feedback from your community? How does that work for you?
A little bit of both. We work with Venue Coalition, who does a lot of the arenas in the Midwest, kind of give us, monthly updates of artists who are touring in the area where our size arena or theater might make sense. And then also we listen to, community feedback. Hey, who would you like to see, especially at the theater? Arena's tougher, because everybody wants to say, hey, bring in Kenny Chesney, or, bring in Taylor Swift. Well, those aren't going to financially work for us. So sometimes you got to kind of say, well, thanks for the input. But at the theater, when people bring up comedians or, artists that would fit the theater mold, those get used more often. Country has been our #1 moneymaker here at the arena.
Sure.
We'd like to expand our genres coming out of COVID and get more acts in here, because I think more things can be successful, but country is what's worked the best here. So, you don't want to get away from your bread and butter, but you also want to make sure you're offering something for everybody as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anthony, you've been in this business for a number of years now. What is the rewarding factor for you in your position?
My favorite thing is sitting outside the bowl of the arena or sitting outside of the theater, and at the end of a show, watching people walk out and smile and talk about, oh, that was great. Or, if we have a family show at the theater, seeing kids come out smiling, or even seeing them, a month later, and they're saying, oh, I remember when this person did that, that was great. Or, man, this is one of the better shows I've ever seen. That is a big reward. Especially when we do some of those education shows at the theater that are during the day, and you see, a group of 200 school kids leave and get on their bus, and they're all still talking about the show an hour later after lunch. Like that's rewarding.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. I hope my wish and my desire would be everybody could see that, feel that at the end of their day with their job, for sure. Anthony, how do people find out more about your theater, your arena, the shows going on there in Bloomington?
Yeah, so the theater's website, it's artsblooming.org. It's got a full calendar of all of our events. We'll release the next season, so fall of September 23, spring 24 here in 2 or 3, 4 months. We'll start kind of setting some of those shows up, but it's got all of our shows through April listed up there. The arena is grossingyourmotorsarena.com. That lists what's coming here. We've kind of been shuttered, as I just been in, kind of took over the arena about a month ago. So we're starting to do some booking, get some offers out there to artists. Right now, it's a lot of hockey, IHSA events, but we do have some concerts that'll probably be getting posted here in about a month and a half. We're hoping that we can finally announce and get some concerts coming back into the building.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Thank you for being on with us today, Anthony.
No, I appreciate you having me.
You bet.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle